Hey and welcome back to the Social Psychology Masters YouTube channel. When you're in the dating world, you have the potential to meet many different kinds of men. And the good news is that there are lots of wonderful, fun, and caring guys out there. But data beware, there are different personalities you should avoid to fend off being blindsided or brokenhearted. In this video we will show you 23 types of men to avoid. Make sure to watch this video to the end because you don't want to miss any of them. And if you are new here, subscribe to this channel for more social psychology videos. And comment down below, I subscribed, so we can welcome you. Let's start. 1. The selfish guy. Does the guy you're dating only seem to care about himself? If you're with someone who tends to put his needs first, show little interest in you and your passions, and who considers himself to be the greatest guy on the planet, it's time to take note that you're dating someone selfish and arrogant. When a guy has an overinflated ego and tries to show you he's an expert at everything, the advice you should heed is to stop dating him. While confidence is appealing, it's not appealing to be with someone who has an overblown sense of self and who couldn't care or be bothered by your needs and desires. 2. The liar. It's challenging and emotionally taxing to date someone you can't count on and who isn't honest or forthright with you. When the guy you're dating is a liar, he'll often make promises he can't keep, make up stories that aren't true, and keep you in the dark about who he really is. When a guy freely and willingly deceives you, this is an automatic red flag that he can't be trusted, especially since trust is at the cornerstone of every happy, fulfilling, and healthy relationship. In order for your connection to flourish, you have to be able to rely on him as your partner. And if you're dating a guy who is prone to lying and making things up, it's time to say goodbye. 3. The player. When you really like the guy you're dating, you may find yourself wanting to take your relationship to the next level. However, if you're dating a player, this next phase of your relationship may never come. Guys who are players want to keep your relationship on a superficial level, which is why they're often vague about their whereabouts, are constantly texting others, and are dismissive of the idea of introducing you to friends and family. If you're looking for a long-term, committed relationship, it's important that you drop the player you're with and try to meet someone who's also looking for a deep and meaningful connection. 4. The guy who strings you along. Since there are so many different people and options in the dating pool, it's not uncommon to date someone on and off for an extended period of time. For instance, you may go out on a few dates with someone and not hear from him again until weeks later, and many times it's a late-night text. In order to avoid being treated as though you're disposable by a guy who only feels like contacting you when he wants to, when he's bored, and when he's looking to hook up, you should find a guy who places a priority on having you in his life. Rather than being just another name that pops up in his phone, you should avoid this type of a guy and find someone with whom you really click. 5. The guy who puts in no effort. When it comes to dating, the guy certainly isn't the only one who should be putting in the effort. However, if you're the one who always contacts him, has to set up the plans, and frequently feels as though you have to do everything to keep your connection afloat, this is a guy you should avoid. Both you and the guy you're dating have to put in the work to spend time together and get to know each other. But when you're doing all of the giving and getting nothing in return, this isn't a healthy dynamic. If a guy seems to be indifferent when it comes to spending time with you, it's time to spend your time with someone else. 6. The emotionally unavailable guy. Dating a man who is emotionally cut off and detached can have its share of challenges. He may never open up to you, share what's on his mind, or be vulnerable around you. And if you're looking for a deep and meaningful relationship, it's in your best interest to avoid an emotionally unavailable man because he'll never fully let you in. For instance, if he keeps you at arm's length and never lets his guard down around you, then your relationship can't truly progress because you'll never get to know the real person he is inside. 7. The controlling guy. Has the guy you're dating ever told you who you can and cannot talk to or what you can and cannot wear? Controlling guys are ones who try to dominate and intimidate you, and they are often jealous and suspicious of your relationships with other people and try to keep tabs on you at every moment of the day. If you feel as though you're being bullied or manipulated by the guy you're dating, it's time to cut off contact immediately, as this is a form of abuse. You are your own person, and the only one who gets to decide what you can and cannot do is you. 8. The workaholic. His finances are impeccable and the word overtime frequents his vocabulary. Sure, his bills are paid with money to spare for the weekend. But what good is having a weekend without an actual date? If his work schedule makes a social life impossible, investing hopes of being a happy couple might make you feel secondary to the job. 9. The guy who reminds you of your ex. If you find yourself comparing your current romantic interest to your previous, you're pursuing the guy who reminds you of your ex. In terms of dating history, sometimes girls tend to repeat the past. Try expanding your dating options to avoid having your love life stuck on repeat. 10. The mama's boy. There are certain men that may be knit just a little too tightly to a woman that they've bonded with through the years. If he must clear all plans with mother or constantly seeks her approval above all else, you may be dealing with the mama's boy. Sure, familial bonds are important. But most mama's boys aren't looking for a girlfriend. They're looking for a girl who will cook, clean and be a wonderful mother to them. 11. The guy's guy. For this guy, time with his boys is more sacred than time with you. We're not saying that you should be joined at the hip, because let's face it, you will also need time with your girls from time to time. This guy simply doesn't know how to strike a balance between time with his boys and quality time with you. 12. The cheater. Enough said, no need to explain why you should avoid the cheater. 13. The club guy. This is the guy who can be found at any club in town, most nights or weekends of the week. Remember, you will never find a keeper at the bar counter. 14. The secretive guy. A person in a relationship should be honest, open and be willing to share things with you. Don't push him to reveal everything about himself, but do be cautious if after months of dating, if he's still not letting you in. 15. The guy who doesn't like your family. If your guy consistently says he doesn't want to be around your family, refuses to attend events where they are present, or is generally rude to them, ditch him. He should love you for you, not your family, and he should respect you enough to treat them with kindness, regardless of how he feels. 16. The dream buster. Any guy not willing to support your dreams and ambitions just isn't for you. 17. Mr. I'm too broken for love. This guy wears his dysfunction and trauma like it's a badge of honor. Even before you get to know him really well, he lets you know that he's suffered through life and he's not sure that he can fully give himself to a relationship. Maybe he had a terrible childhood or a slew of devastating breakups and you might be tempted to be the one who heals him. Don't play yourself like that. Just stay away. 18. The guy who take and never give. He's always asking you for favors. Can you please help him do laundry? Can you lend him money? Can you stop by with dinner because he's too lazy to go out? Men like this think only their needs are valid. They don't care when you have to inconvenience yourself to please them. They want things and they expect you to satisfy their needs without asking for anything in return. 19. The master manipulator. The tricky thing with this type of guy is that you don't often realize that they're messing with your head until you're in deep. They always know the right thing to say to have you feeling light as air. Once you fall for them, that is when the games begin. Even if they do care about you, it'd be far less than they care about themselves. They'll manipulate you into feeling paranoid, jealous, crazy, or insecure as long as it benefits them. 20. The non-communicator. You don't want to spend all your time trying to figure out what's bothering him or what he's thinking. You're dating a man, not a complex math equation. This guy is terrible at communicating or plain reluctant to do so. You'll go crazy trying to get him to open up, so why not just save yourself the trouble and avoid him completely? 21. The negative guy. You don't want this type of guy in your life because he's just going to put a damper on the entire year. He always has stuff to complain about and doesn't think there's any good or happiness to be found in the world. You could tell him you got a promotion and he'll find a way to make it seem like it's not worth celebrating. 22. The flake. 1 minute, he can't get enough of you, he's texting and calling constantly, chasing you with passion, showering you with attention, and being an all-round great guy. The next, he goes cold and locks you out, then the cycle repeats himself. He can't seem to make up his mind about you, so he's just going to keep sprinkling disappointment around your life. 23. The narcissist. There are difference between having a healthy self-esteem and being self-absorbed and conceited. This type of guy thinks the sun rises and sets on their back. They only think about themselves and expect other people to center them in their own lives. They never stop tooting their own horns and they're good at hijacking emotions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Check out our other videos for more interesting psychology topics. Thanks for watching.